I ain't the kind to wear a tie. Button up from 9 to 5. I tried that life but said goodbye. I'm not always polite, but I get the job done. Who says the work can never be fun? I'm simply unprofessional. Simply unprofessional. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Simply Unprofessional. I'm your host, Webby. Join me tonight. We got Rob.
Hey, everybody, it's Rob.
And we got Devin.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I have been. I just haven't been here the past couple of episodes. How's it going, everybody?
And we got a special guest, Donnie, joining us today.
It's a me.
And we got lurkers
Donnie.
in the wings.
It's me.
All right, so this week Devin, you actually approached me and you messaged me wanting to do this episode, giving us the topic to do it. We watched the first 3 episodes of the Winchesters, which is the Supernatural spinoff, following the adventures
Not to be
of how...
confused with Winchester, which was a 1-episode spinoff directed by Eric Kripke, which followed John right after the death of his wife, and where he wasn't like the first part of like the show. But it wasn't that same actor that played John. It wasn't
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
It wasn't Jeffrey Dean Morgan. It was somebody else. But I haven't even seen that one yet. That came out in 2021. I haven't seen that one yet. But
I never even heard of it, so I guess it didn't get any traction.
Oh, I think it was just like a 1 episode, like a one. I don't think it was actually like a it wasn't intentionally like a thing.
The Winchesters is a prequel to Supernatural, and it's pretty much the story of when John Winchester met Mary Campbell, who eventually, we all know, they end up getting married and having Sam and Dean, and some of the adventures that they go on before all that happens. Devin, only because we've already kind of mentioned it earlier when we finished the 3rd episode. But Devin, I'm curious, what did you think of this show?
So far, I do like it. It doesn't hit the same like Supernatural notes for me that Supernatural hits for me, if that makes sense. But it does give me more like it reminds me more of like, this is kind of like a very specific like comparison. But it reminds me more of like Scooby Gang Buffy mixed with like season 1 through 3 of Supernatural, which it's not a bad comparison at all.
Okay.
But that's kind of like where it kind of reminds me of. Like, I don't. If you're going into it thinking like Supernatural, I think, like if you told me this wasn't tied to Supernatural, it would be. I couldn't say I couldn't tell the difference, but it could also not. You know what I mean? It doesn't really give you the same like overall vibe as like a Supernatural show, if that makes sense.
Right. So do you plan on continuing to watch it?
I probably will. I'll probably wait till all of it comes out and just watch it, because that's what I was kind of watching on Bflix. But yeah, I probably definitely will continue to watch it.
Yeah. Well, let's go over to, me, Rob, and Donnie kind of very vaguely touched on it, but Donnie, what did you think of at least the first 3 episodes?
Oh, they had some excellent source material to pull from, with some well-established characters. I hated it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Okay. Any particular reason why?
I feel like, I think we kind of touched on this. I think there's some parts where either it is poorly delivered or bad writing for dialogue for several of the characters consistently, and I don't really feel it like I did Supernatural, but I guess that's an unfair comparison.
Okay.
I mean, it's not really an unfair comparison, given the fact that it's a show that's based on Supernatural. It's not an unfair comparison.
Right.
I do have a question.
It's not written by the same people, right?
I can tell you.
It doesn't feel like it is.
True. It's created by Eric Kripke. It's written. He wrote episode 1, or he wrote one episode of it. Eric Kripke wrote one episode. Zach Sanchez wrote one episode, and Britt Bankhead wrote. Oh, am I in the actual? I'm not in the episode. So right now, yeah, the writers are. Yeah, I think it is. It's directed by. It's not directed by Kripke. It's directed by Zach Sanchez and Britt Bankhead, but all three of them do have writing credit on the show.
Now,
let me go
wasn't
check.
Supernatural wasn't Supernatural directed by
Oh wait, I lied. That's the wrong show.
Robert Singer?
No, that was the wrong show. I'm sorry. That was the one-off spin-off thing I was talking about. It was that guy. Because I clicked on the wrong thing when I was doing this. One sec.
Well, while you're looking for that, Rob, what did you think?
Got it right here.
I thought it was okay. Like, I would probably watch it, but not, like, rewatch it as I did Supernatural, like, over and over.
Right.
I mean, it's all right. It's kind of in the same world. I don't know. I feel more like they were just like, people that like Supernatural are just going to like this without, like, much explanation as to what's happening. I don't know. Like, you know who Mary and, why can't I think of his name? John are, obviously. But, like, they don't really go into stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, if you're a Supernatural fan, you obviously know who they are. If you're not, you're just gonna be like, what is the significance of these people? Like, it doesn't really explain much. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, I do think it didn't do a great job of like setting up the story. It really did a lot of heavy work on you knowing about Supernatural, but I do, because the tone was so different. Like I said, I do feel like it could also work as a show that's not Supernatural. But I think it does run into the same problems that every Supernatural spinoff runs into. In that none of the characters have the same like screen appeal and like riff ability off of each other that Sam and Dean had.
Yeah, the chemistry doesn't feel like it's there.
And like you look at like the other show where they did like the spinoff in like Chicago with like the monster mobs things that lasted like 5 episodes.
Right.
That was like a backdoor pilot that was supposed to be like a spinoff, and they tried it for like an episode, or I don't think got a whole season. I think it got like 5 episodes, and it just never got picked up.
But I mean, also ultimately, like, like I do agree. I don't think the chemistry that you have with like Sam and Dean, you know, was there, and like Supernatural was all about family. You know, that was the big thing with them, and this is more of like an odd supernatural love story, because we get to see John and Mary, hopefully over time throughout the show, you know, develop their relationship. Because, like, you know, having seen Supernatural, obviously we know they end up together. But so I mean, it does have a different tone too going into it.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean that's something to take into account. So Rob, do you plan on finishing the show?
Probably.
Yeah.
I will also say, but apparently you guys said it was retconned in the future, but I don't remember it. But like when the show started off, it was explained that John didn't know anything about the supernatural and didn't become a hunter until after Mary died. Like this clearly is like, no, he already knew all about this stuff. And his parents were involved in it too, and they knew about it. It's just like,
well, his father was part of the
He's a man of letters. That was part of the
of the normal show, and I'm fairly certain I'm fairly certain in a couple of the episodes they mentioned, like the time traveling episodes there or whatever, they mentioned about how John knew Mary was a hunter, but Mary was the hunter of the pair of them, and he just kind of knew of the things and stuff. So, yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, it was definitely pre-established that his father was a man of letters. So
yeah, but not till like season 7 or whatever. I'm just saying the first few seasons of Supernatural made it seem like he didn't know anything about it until after Mary died.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
That could have also just been Like that could have been the original route that they were going with it, but then they decided, oh well, now that these characters, now that we know this show is actually taking off, we got to get more in depth with these backgrounds of these characters. So they probably wrote in the fact that Mary was the hunter and John met her and this, that, and the other thing, and John would have known about this stuff, but whether or not he was any good at it, kind of thing. So I mean that probably okay. They obviously, I don't think they would have gone into the pilot episode having all of that already pre-thought out in case the show didn't pick up and it ended up getting canceled.
Yeah.
So. Devin, did you find what you were looking for as far as the writers and stuff?
I did. So the main three writers on this show, believe it or not, are Robbie Thompson, Eric Kripke, and David H. Goodman. Okay. Robert Thompson, he wrote 13 episodes of the Winchesters. From his previous writing credits is he wrote 36. His most significant writing credits really is 38 episodes of Supernatural. And then a personal favorite of mine, knowing that one of his first writing gigs was back in the late 90s, early 2000s, is he wrote 12 episodes of the new Woody Woodpecker show.
Okay.
But yeah, so he wrote 38 episodes of Supernatural. Eric Kripke, obviously, writer, he wrote on 13 episodes of this, so I mean he's the creator of Supernatural. He wrote 13 episodes on this. Yeah.
And see, like, I don't necessarily dislike the plot of this show, but
like not bad.
I'm kind of with Donnie in the fact that like the delivery of the lines and like there's just something slightly off about it.
It doesn't feel organic to me.
I'm curious.
Like at a lot of points.
Curious. I want to see something here. Let me ask you guys this question though. Line delivery aside, do you think they did right with the casting?
Okay.
Yeah. So they mentioned that already too.
I mentioned this earlier. I think that they cast Mary well. Mary's played by an actress named Meg Donnelly. I can actually picture that actress being a young version of the actress who played Mary in Supernatural. I think that was spot on. I think her acting's good. I don't mind John, but I don't know. I also Carlos, the hippie guy I mentioned earlier, just seems like a 1970s Cisco from The Flash.
He really does, actually, like a lot.
But I mean,
he
otherwise,
seems like a not as stoned version of the guy from
Supernatural. Yep.
No,
like, not Supernatural. I know what you're talking about.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. Yeah. The pizza guy.
Yeah, the pizza guy.
He seems like if you took Cisco and him and combined them together, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm not bad at all. So I will say this. At least Meg Donnelly. I'm checking Drake. Yeah.
Drake Roger.
I'm checking this other chick too. Her, and I think she had the best. I think
Nita
she had the
Kershid,
best. She had the best delivery out of everybody. Yeah, she had the best delivery kind of out of like everybody.
I will say this. Well, actually, I won't because Rob plans on continuing to watch it, and I don't want to spoil it for him. So I'm looking at the IMDb, and there's more episodes out, so I know who comes in later on.
Yeah, so I will say this. Oh yeah, I think
Tom
I know you're
Welling
talking
plays
about.
Sam Campbell. Okay, I'm good. Rob stuck his fingers in his ears and started going la la la, so I could.
Yeah, I saw the headlines for that. I was pretty excited about that.
So the thing is this, right? And I think the line delivery has a lot. I just ran through the main four people real quick. So Meg, this is her first real adult TV role. Previous to this, she played in High School Musical, the TV series. She's done 2 or 3 of the zombie movies for Disney. She was on a Disney show as like a side thing. Her main acting job was something called American Housewife, and I think she played. I was in 2000, from 2006 to 2021, and she played the kid in there. She played like she played a kid in there, like one of the younger sisters in there or something like that. So this is her first real like adult-ish oriented acting role. So that's might be why she's a little stiff. Then you have Drake Rogers. He just started acting 2 years ago in 2020.
I was gonna say his IMDb is pretty
short. He has exactly 6 roles. Murder RX, Terra Beach, Not Alone, the In Between, Mantra, and the Winchesters. So yeah, I mean, and then you have
Nita Kershid.
Nita, she's kind of in the same boat. She only has 16 roles. Yeah, I mean, she has a little bit more variety in her roles, but
I mean, the guy who plays Carlos, this is his first time. Winchester's is his first IMDb credit.
So I think that might be it. Literally is just inexperience from the cast.
Yeah,
is what I'm gonna say on this one. I think it's just cast inexperience. Now, do I think that may be the downfall of the show? Like on a show where you have one season to really make it work. I don't know if I would have went with 4, not even like saying new actors, but I would have probably still casted Meg Donnelly and Drake Rogers as Mary and John, because I think Drake Rogers works out really nicely as John. I think he's a good facsimile of John.
Yeah.
I would have probably surrounded them with some more experienced actors. Which I mean, you have Millie. Millie's you have Bianca, who plays Millie Winchester. She's obviously a little bit more experienced. She has 34 roles. But still like not a lot. Like Undateable is her biggest run, Rules of Engagement. So I mean, but she has more roles than, hold on one second, guys. But yeah, go ahead. Somebody can take over from her.
I mean, I do think that one of the bigger issues is something that Rob brought up, and that's the fact that, like, going right into this, it's like they made this show specifically to cater to Supernatural fans, which I'm sure that they were garnering that would be the larger audience. But, like, even as a Supernatural fan, like, okay, yeah, we know about Mary and John, but we don't know everything about how they got into it, and having a little bit more background on all these characters would be nice.
Yeah, like when the cop gave him back the engagement ring, it's like where that came out of left field. It's like they didn't even mention that he was engaged to her. Like even after she gave him back the ring, they didn't really talk about it much. She was just like, "Here you go."
That whole thing seemed very forced,
right?
Like very forced, and we wanted it done right there and now for that whole story.
Right.
Yeah.
And they've hinted at like when John was mentioning to Carlos about how he got into hunting. Oh well, a whatever killed my family. Which is okay. That's how most people get into hunting, sure. But like, what did you do before hunting? Like anything really. Like we literally only know their faces and their names. And who knows? Maybe throughout the series we're gonna get episodes that are dedicated to these characters and like shows us some of their past.
Yeah, like the English Indian chick, we just learned that she doesn't like talking to her mother. It's like that's all we know about her, other than the fact that she looks at books. It's like okay.
So I don't know. But, I mean, I think between that and, like Devin said, the inexperience of some of the cast and just. I'm not going to necessarily blame it on bad writing, but maybe just hey, maybe that delivery and the inexperience is hand in hand. Maybe it's just they got to find their acting sea legs, so to speak.
Yeah. One of the issues I have with all prequels that are like this, that have characters that are in other like the original
pre-established.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, they have plot armor. Like, we know nothing bad is ever going to happen to them. Like, the episode today, they're like, oh, Mary's going to be trapped into the bag forever. It's like, no, she's not. We know that she's not because she has kids. And it's like, yeah, there's not really a sense. Like, obviously, in Supernatural, you know that Sam and Dean aren't really going to die.
Well,
for most of it. Like you can tell, but like it's still there's still that mystery. Like, oh, what's gonna happen to them? There's like, oh, we know what happens to John and Mary in the end. It's like there's no like surprise or any twists really, unless they start messing with time travel again. But
ugh. Yeah, this is where this Mary ends up dying, and then we find out that there's another Mary from another timeline that comes and takes her place, and that's the actual Mary. Ugh, my nose is bleeding. Anyway, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Having seen the first 3 episodes, these Akita things or whatever they're called. It's my understanding that these things are aliens, because they said that these things were not of this world. Thoughts? Do you guys think that they're aliens? Do you guys think that they're just
Dimensional travelers or something.
yeah, extra dimensional
That's kind of what I was
creatures? All right.
yeah, I said maybe they're from the Feywild because it does exist canonically in supernatural stuff.
feeling. They better get the hell out of there.
Devin must still be away. So remind me to ask him the aliens question, because if it's aliens, it's like, okay. And then Rob, like I mentioned, the fact that that's I think that'd be dumb. But then Rob was like, "Well, Sam and Dean didn't believe in aliens, but they believe in monsters. So maybe these are aliens, and somewhere in this show they just wipe out all of them. So they grew
Yeah,
up
they know there's no aliens because
Yeah.
their parents wiped them all out.
I'm back.
So Devin, these creatures that are running around in this show, the big bads, the Akita or whatever they're called.
Mm-hmm.
They claim that they're not of this world. Do you believe that they're aliens? Do you believe that they're from another dimension? Like, what's your opinion on
they
that?
could very well be like Leviathans almost, or something like similar to that. They come from a different, because Leviathans were from what was that fucking
Limbo.
Yeah, they could be like from somewhere like that. It wouldn't surprise me. I hope they're not aliens. It all ties into Roswell. Actually, it's going to tie to Roswell, which is the other. I'm kidding. But
Well, I mean, you weren't here because you stepped away, but me and Rob have a pretty good thing if it is aliens, because in Supernatural, Sam and Dean didn't believe in aliens.
Right. They believe in everything
Rob
else.
Rob was like, yeah, the reason they don't believe in aliens is because John and Mary killed all the aliens.
But I feel like that would have been said though. It would have been like, you know what I mean? It would have been like, oh, I don't believe in aliens. It would have been like, no, aliens don't exist anymore. All the aliens here were killed by our parents or something. Like, because I feel like if they knew that information, it would have been said.
Well, maybe they didn't know that information.
But
maybe when they were kids, their parents were just like, no, vampires are real, werewolves are real, aliens don't exist, because only they knew the truth.
But then, like, I feel like they've encountered so much other worldly beings at the time. I feel like they would like still believe in aliens. You know what I mean?
Sam and Dean should have just asked Chuck.
Like, I just have a hard time believing like
they should have just asked Chuck when they had the chance. Been like, yo, are aliens real? Like,
right?
Did you put life on other planets? Actually, didn't he say that he did, but this version of Sam and Dean were his favorite?
He
There were
did
multiple different realities.
Yeah, all the different timelines and stuff.
I think he said they did put life on other planets, but for whatever reason, the only they had humans, I think, on other planets, but Earth was this was the only like planet that they actually flourished.
Right.
If I remember correctly, it was something like that.
Anyway, I'm not a super big fan of the show. I might, once it's all out, like the whole season's out, I might go through and give it a watch if I'm bored. But like Rob, it's not going to be something that I watch as many times as I watch Supernatural.
And
I might even, if I watch this through beginning to end, I might even have to go back and watch Supernatural beginning to end as like a palate cleanser. So,
or at least like the first like 3 seasons.
No, all 15. I'll push through the Leviathan seasons.
That was
Those were
that
the
was
worst.
hard. That was
Yeah.
a hard
But
arc
there was
to
one
watch,
good
though.
thing that
And they
came from the
killed Bobby in
Leviathan
that arc
seasons.
too, which like made it even worse.
Whoa.
Like it was
There was one good thing that came
the
from
shitty
the
arc,
Leviathan
and Bobby died to a
seasons.
shitty villain. Like,
Say what? Wait, what'd you say?
who, me or Rob?
You.
I said, and that's the season Bobby died in, and they
Oh.
killed Bobby in like the shittiest fucking arc ever.
Yeah, but then he came back as a ghost. It was fine.
He did. He came back as Ghost Bobby, and we saw that he was like super happy with
But in the
what's the other
Leviathan
dude's
seasons,
name?
you get Charlie. So
That is true. You do get Charlie.
that was worth it.
Yes, you do. You do. But I just can't.
Yeah, I don't know.
They killed
I'll
a lot. They
slog
killed a lot of characters in the Leviathan season. They killed a lot of characters in that season. And that season was not worth it. I'm being completely
That's
honest.
because they
with you.
really wanted you to hate that dick guy.
But that season was just not worth it. I was like, oh my god, you've murdered all these people, but that season was like not it.
Yeah. But all right. Anybody else have anything else they want to talk about as far as the Winchesters go? I like that it's narrated by Dean.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
like
Dean
they actually
telling
had him
the
like make a
story of
cameo
it.
into it. Although I feel like they only did that just to draw people in for the second episode.
I mean, maybe. But Tilly, you're awfully mouthy spreading your Nazi propaganda over there in the couch, sitting in the
We got Nazi
darkness.
propaganda film again.
Yep.
I do love me some. I'm going to stop that sentence.
Tilly, you're about to get grounded.
That just seems like a really good way to get canceled. Like, now that I care about getting canceled specifically, that seems like a way to get canceled like real hard.
What?
I was going to make a joke. I'll just say it after it's over. Not like a joke. I was just going to be like, I do love me some good old fashioned insert whatever there, but
Oh.
I thought better of it.
All right. That's probably better. That's probably good.
I don't want to end up like Kanye. And then I got like go in public like wear like a weird mask and shit. I don't want to do all that. I got too much to live for. I got to live for Webby.
So let's go with Rob. Rob, do you have anything else you want to add to this Winchesters episode? This is going to be a short episode.
No, we're just gonna shoot the shit and talk later about it. I haven't talked to you guys in a while. I want to see how you guys are doing. Shit.
I like the actor that plays John. He's super cute.
Yeah, of course you do.
That's it. That's all the last thing I had to say.
All right. Donnie, do you have anything else you'd like to say or mention about the Winchesters?
They had some excellent source material to pull from and some really deep character established.
Excellent source material.
That's what he started off saying.
That's exactly what he started off saying. Devin, do you have anything last things you want to say about the Winchesters?
I think it's going to be one of those shows that you probably, I think if you give it a season or two, it might, like, if it makes it past this season, it might get better, but I'm not like super optimistic about that, like, at all.
Okay. My final comment is they made a decent they made a good casting choice with Meg Donnelly. Mary Campbell, you're doing great. Stop cheating on your future husband. With that crazy guy from the movie theater. All right. Well, I mean, we're half hour into the episode, and we're all done talking about the episode topic.
Yeah.
Neat.
I mean, I'm going to say this. There was definitely a reasoning probably why. Like, I didn't really know this show existed until like 3 weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago. And that's like, it's been out for going on 8 weeks now. So it's not great, but I think it has potential.
Yeah,
and maybe they're just going to get their bad season out the way. They're going to get their Leviathan season out the way now, and it's going to pick up later. God, I hope so.
All right.
How has everybody else been?
Oh boy.
How-
Well,
I mean, it's been a journey for me, as you guys know. Like I took multiple mental health weeks. I have just not been in the best place mentally to really come on and give you guys a show you deserve. So I've taken a couple of weeks off. I don't know
hey,
what
sometimes
excuse.
you just gotta unplug and reset.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was. Like I've done a lot of just like sleeping and a lot of thinking and just kind of a lot of just like I don't want to say healing, but just like cleansing. Like I've been very it's been a wild time. It's been a wild time, but I'm not 100%, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I'm back in action.
You gave yourself a life laxative. You cleansed.
Yes, I cleansed myself.
Well, that's
Of-
good. I mean,
yeah.
I'm glad you're doing better than you have been for sure.
Yeah, because I've been in I wouldn't say I've been in a dark place. That's not really true, but I just haven't really been myself. I've been kind of just stuck in a cycle of going to work, coming home, and having nothing I really want to do. Not really feeling anything, not really feeling or having any type of like drive to do much. So that's kind of where I've been at, but I'm getting better. I'm feeling better. I have more energy, and I've been like going out and doing stuff and having fun. So, yeah, slowly but surely, I'm getting back, and hopefully getting better than ever.
That's good.
Good.
Yeah. So how have you been, Donnie? How's Whirl in the Downstream been? Also, playing on your intro to the show, if you were in fact Donnie-O, the really discount version of Mario, who would be your Luigi, and you can't name anyone in this call?
Oh boy. Nobody in this call?
Nope, you can't name anyone in this call.
I know a really easy answer to this, Donnie.
Who?
Your brother?
Sure. That.
Because they were brothers?
They were.
Hey,
That actually
Devin's
makes
limiting you
sense.
to people not in this call, so
I am
take the
limiting you,
easy
not-
answer.
I was trying to think of a celebrity that would be funny, but yeah, we'll just go with my brother.
Oh, if we're going to go with a celebrity that would be funny, the guy from John
Margot
Wick.
Robbie.
No, the guy from John Wick who fixes the cars who actually played Luigi in the Mario movie.
If we were going like fake,
What's his name?
I would
Something
I
Del
would
Toro or
I would
something?
be Luigi.
Oh,
If we were
John
going fake, I'd be a Luigi, and I would cast fucking what's his name from The Office as fucking Mario.
Dwight?
Yep, Dwight from The Office is Mario, and I'd be his Luigi any day of the week.
That'd be fun. That'd be
I don't care
interesting.
who's who as long as I'm Bowser.
Then who's the Princess Peach you're trying to kidnap? Who are we saving, Webby?
I don't know. Princess Peach just keeps trying to run away from you, run to me for safety, but I don't lock my castle door, apparently.
It sounds like we need
They
to
just
like
break
we need
in
to
all
make,
the
like,
time and
show
stay.
that just tells the story of a misunderstood Bowser.
Yeah.
Like this whole time, he's hasn't been kidnapping her. She just keeps showing up.
Yeah.
And
He's like, who the heck's gonna break into my castle? Why do I have to bother locking my front gate? And then she just always manages to stumble her way in.
And then like,
And he's
and
like,
then one
oh,
day he
every
looks like-
time you show up, these two plumbers come and just beat up all my people. Just great.
And then like one day he looks out his window and he just sees a dude in overalls sliding down a flagpole, and the rest is history.
Yeah. It's absurd.
That is absurd.
All
What
right.
if Bowser left his door open because he called for a plumbing service, and he thought this whole time they were the assistants that he needed, and they were.
Aren't you guys here to fix my toilets?
Yeah, the whole time he thought they were just here to fix his toilet, and they lied to him, and then he came back in the second time around because all he wanted was a refund because they didn't fix his toilet.
And then they pull out. They just start doing drugs, eating mushrooms, and growing twice their size. And then they start sniffing pollen and snorting, shooting fireballs out their nose.
The thing is that Mario and Luigi are the real villains of the story.
I think so. I think that's right.
Plus, it's never even Peach. I think Peach is just hanging out in her own castle because it's always Toad, and he's like, Peach, the princess is in another castle. Her own. She's at home.
Toad does get captured. Toad's kind of useless. Here's a random other sidebar question that I just thought of now. And Apple, if you want to chime in on this, you can. I know you're back to listen. What is a character in like any movie, video game, fiction, whatever? What is a character like you could just delete and from like that added nothing? You could just delete them and it would change exactly zero. Like nothing would change. Like what is your one character that is just like unbelievably useless that you're just like, yeah, they could just go?
Aerith from Final Fantasy VII. Don't you know what? Anybody, listeners, whoa, listeners! If you go out there and play the original, not the remake, because Rob told me they changed a lot of stuff. If you go out there and want to play the original Final Fantasy VII, the second you get Aerith as a party member, don't even equip her. In fact, take whatever equipment she has and take it off. At the point where you are forced to have her in a party, give her some base ass shit. You'll still do just fine. The second she's no longer in your party, take her shit away. Okay? The game's been out long enough, she dies. She dies, and if you have her fully equipped with a bunch of really good gear and some great materia, you'll lose it all. So, just don't. She's useless as a character. Okay? I'm still salty about that. That's my answer. And I loved her as a character. She was a great healer. Not good enough to heal herself from a single stab wound.
Fair. I got mine. Donnie, you got one? Or are you still thinking?
I'm still thinking.
Rob, you got one? Or are you still thinking?
Nope, I don't have one.
Mine is
Webby's rant.
I'm gonna go with Storm from the X-Men movies.
Specifically the movies? Well, I don't know. She zapped Toad pretty good.
With possibly the second worst one-liner in movie history. The worst one-liner belongs to Katana's mom in Final Mortal Kombat. But no, she has possibly the worst one-liner, one of the worst one-liners of all time, and zaps Toad, and that's all she added in 3 movies. In 3 fucking movies.
I mean, she is arguably probably one of the more powerful X-Men, and she didn't.
And that's my point. In 3 movies, her claim to fame was she zapped Toad. Fucking Toad.
Yeah.
The most useless of, like, the fucking Brotherhood. Toad was her, that was her claim to fame. That's mine. I just don't, like, I don't know. I think she was completely...
I'm going to go with Gambit from D&D. God, that guy's useless. He should just be erased.
Well.
Mine is from D&D.
Let me guess. Ryder?
Damn, how'd you know?
I'm good at guessing.
No, I was going to say Scott from the X-Men movies.
Oh, yeah. Any Cyclops from any of the X-Men, anything. Useless.
Well, I feel like he's meant to be a bigger deal than he was in the movies.
He's useless.
Cyclops? Okay, like...
90s animated X-Men show? Get rid of them. We don't need them.
The only Cyclops in fiction that's like outside of the actual comic book that's like remotely like interesting is X-Men Evolution Cyclops.
I mean, all right. Still, he's a douche. I hate Scott Summers.
Absolutely, but he's like meant to be a douche. Like he's meant to be kind of douchey like that. Like that's like his thing.
Booster Gold. Get rid of him.
Okay.
He's useless. He adds nothing to the Justice League. Even the Justice League laugh at him.
Here's my my controversial pick, right? I'm gonna take Rachel from The Dark Knight and Batman Begins. I mean,
Yep.
while she does have very important parts in the movie, overall, like she is just a very distracting, not great character.
Well, I mean, I think that was her purpose, was to be distracting.
Right, but no, I mean, but like it was to the point where like the movie was worse off because she was in the movie, but like it still was a good movie. Don't get me wrong. But, like the scene she was in, like she had nothing. And I love Maggie Gyllenhaal as an actress. I love Maggie Gyllenhaal. I just don't feel Rachel had anything to that. Some may say Martha, the unnamed Martha from Batman vs Superman, never needed to be in that movie. Was never physically present in that movie, but never needed to be in that movie.
The bond
that
brought
whole-
Batman and Superman together.
That whole movie can just disappear. That movie was awful. And then like they hyped up. I'm pissed at that movie because then they fucking hyped up like, oh, it's the Snyder cut. That was just longer, more slow motion, and just as bad. It was terrible. Okay, like I'm mad, and I want my money back that I didn't even pay for.
There's a Snyder cut of Batman versus Superman?
Oh, the Justice League one, but either way, it's the same shit. Actually, was there gonna be?
I thought the Snyder cut of Justice League was better. I wouldn't say it was good, but better.
It was better, but it was still a terrible movie. That whole, I'm happy I think they're getting rid of. They're getting rid of. So no, it's the Ultimate Cut. That's what it is. The Ultimate Edition.
You know who else they should get rid of?
What?
In the Wonder Woman movie, the human form of Ares.
Yes.
I thought Ares is a great villain to have for Wonder Woman. But my God, CGI-ing that guy's face onto a villainous, super villain.
Yeah.
It destroyed it for me. I was like, how
I
are
don't know why.
you going to get that bad from a Harry Potter person?
You can say what you will about how like young years are so formative, but whenever I like picture Ares, and like I know how
Hercules.
he's like, yes, 100%.
Yeah,
that is how I picture Ares, 100% for no reason because like the guy Ares from Xena and Hercules.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
Like that's how I picture.
I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of him
for no reason. Like because it isn't like even like by description, it's not a very good version of Ares. But like just he stole the scene.
Oh, okay.
Like he stole the scene.
Yeah, he did almost every time he was there.
He was like good. He was so good.
Oh, you
Fucking
calm
Ares.
down, Apple, with those heart eyes. We see that.
Oh,
Rob's,
yeah.
I don't know,
Rob's
man.
gonna be
I don't
next
know,
with the
man.
heart eyes, I'm sure.
What? What?
Rob's over there saying, "Oh, look at that cod piece."
Johnny's the first.
I'll say this, man. Long-haired Ares. He's talking to me, man. He's talking to me. Look at those eyes right there. That guy's talking to me, man.
That strong jawline.
I know. Talking to me.
His beard looks better in the first one, like his goatee.
Yeah, that was canon on.
Yeah, I know.
He's like the Roman Reigns before Roman Reigns was Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Actually, almost exactly, which is terrifying.
Listen, okay, all I want to know. Going back to that first picture, because it's got 3 heart eye emojis. Okay. So you take away his, leather pants, his stylish goatee.
I knew that was coming. You think I was
Listen.
all right, well. Great me with a good time.
Well,
What were you saying?
I can't even go on without I lost my train of thought. Rob
Hey,
just
if he
threw it
was,
out the
if he
window.
didn't have a goatee and he was wearing like jeans and a Henley, he'd still be attractive.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, look at that. We've reached the 45-minute mark. We can start wrapping this
Xena
up.
was such a good show. Though. Like, it really was a good show. Shout out to Xena. It was a good show.
That's it.
Devin, you better start looking for your life advice soon, man. We've had several weeks of not Devin life advice, and we've been having to fill in the blanks here.
I mean, I'm sure you guys did better than I usually do, so don't feel too bad about it.
We will start going into Rob. Do we have a science corner this week?
Yeah, I actually have 2.
Okay.
So first, the ISS has a coolant leak, which is not good. So the International Space Station, there's like videos of it if you want to look online, but like one of the Suez shuttles that is attached to it currently is just spraying coolant into space, so it's going to be a problem for people trying to get back from it. But yeah, so that was one of the things I wanted to bring up. The other more significant thing is there has been a breakthrough with nuclear fusion, where they have now been able to create more energy from nuclear fusion than what they put into it, which means the more it develops, it's going to be a completely clean form of energy that is basically exhaustible, because the more that you put in energy, you get more energy out than what you put in. So it would take away our having to rely on like fossil fuels and things that like radiation and stuff like that that poisons everything. So yeah. They've been working on it for a long time, but usually they just break even, have only been able to break even like the amount of energy they put into the laser to fuse the molecules together produced the same amount of energy out that they put in, but now they've made it possible to create more energy than what you're putting into it. So it's going to it's basically a very big deal. It's like you're going to be able to like fuel things like I said, eventually they'll be able to power like the world with it without causing pollution, and eventually it'll be able to make space travel possible, because if you can do it on a spacecraft, then you have unlimited energy. You don't have to worry about using up fuel reserves and stuff like that.
So okay, so I just lost
So,
my
is it a practical source of energy? Like they can build a fully functioning ship that can go into space with the energy that it produces for its size?
Eventually, yeah. I mean, it'll take time. It'll take years, but eventually, yeah.
That's pretty cool to think about.
So I mean, even if they perfect it and it's a renewable, you say it's essentially a never-ending resource.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone's still going to get charged an arm and a leg for electricity. You know, the governments are going to regulate everything and tax the hell out of it, and I don't know.
One would think our taxes would cover the maintenance of a facility that would give clean energy like that, but
yeah, it's the only thing they need is hydrogen, which it says they only need a small amount of hydrogen, and hydrogen is basically everywhere. Water is made of it. It's in the air.
Yeah, I mean, especially on a planet that's such a high percentage of water, you know. Huh. All right. Now, are we talking like within our lifetimes? Do you think they'll actually like?
Probably within our lifetimes. making it a viable energy source for people on Earth. I don't know about ship travel with it. That might be beyond our lifespans, but
Yeah.
definitely using it to power things on Earth. Yeah.
All right. And Devin, do we got life advice this week?
Do you have life advice for this week? Maybe not like articulated in the best way, but just like things I may have said this before because it's a constant journey, and at least for me throughout life to like I know the message. I'm being yelled at. Hold on 1 second.
Life advice is don't get yelled at.
I'm back. Sorry, I was kidding.
You good?
It's been it's a battle for me, right? Because I'm one of those people. I like to, or I feel like I should have some degree of control at all times in my life. I have a hard time relinquishing control of my life and just kind of letting things happen. Even though I'm a random person, but it's like everything I take calculated risk. I like to say like I'm go with the flow, and I am, but I still take calculated risk. So with that being said, I really do believe that at least life advice for me is just going this forward because this has helped me out a lot. Is just sometimes you just gotta stop trying to control everything and let life work its magic. Life can be magical when it at times let life work its magic, and understand that sometimes everything you may meet the right person at the wrong time. You may be in the wrong place at the right time, be at the right time, and you may be at the right place at the wrong time. But point being is eventually all those will align and you will be at the right place at the right time. And if there's another person involved, you'll be at the right place at the right time with the right person. Just kind of let life understand you have be much happier than trying to control everything because you can't.
All right. I have thoughts on that life advice, but that'll have to wait until another SU, probably. All right. Well, with that being said, Rob, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at Confessor_X and on Twitch at twitch.tv/ConfessorX.
And Devin, where can people find you on the internet?
You guys can find me on. I'm not muted. You guys find me on Twitter at DMP_Pookie. Find me on Twitch at Mr. D3, and as always, you can find me on eBay, standing in line for my money back. I'm on eBay standing in line for my money back.
All right.
For all of my copies of. Actually, no. Better yet, you can find me on eBay buying all the copies of Superman versus Batman, so I can destroy them and no one can watch them.
All right. And Donnie, where can they find me on the internet?
You tell me.
Oh, I tried to trick you this time, and it didn't work.
They can find me at Jack's Forest Walker, all one word.
Yeah, they wish. They'd probably be more excited to find you than me. So,
Doubtful.
As always, yeah, thank you everybody for listening. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Jack's Forest Walker, all one word. On Twitch at DM Webby, and on eBay at helping Devin destroy the Batman v Superman anything, because it was a terrible movie. But thank you for listening. We love you guys, and fuck Booster Gold.
Like a really superb backstory to pull from.
Lots of very in-depth,
Lots of lore.
In-depth universe to pull from, and they just
For some great characters. Just not
so
these.
many. 1970s Cisco.